Hey, real estate besties. Today is Tuesday, and around here, that means that we are answering your burning questions. Now, I don't care if it's about a deal that you're working, just a question on how to organize something in your business, or if you just want to dish with your good real estate bestie. I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you have a question, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ask, and you will be able to leave a voicemail and I will answer your question on the podcast. Let's get into our question for today.
Well, I got my license in September and I'm struggling. So I'm just trying to take in all the tips that you guys are sharing.
Victoria, what do your daily activities look like? Tell me where, like, give me one area where you feel like you are struggling.
Probably on converting the leads that I do have and figuring out my lead generating activities. I'm posting on social media. I'm trying to attend some events. I'm in like some groups in my community too. And I'm trying to interact with them, trying to farm a neighborhood.
Okay,
So
let's stop it because you keep saying this one word that I keep hearing. And
trying.
I love you. Okay, I love you. Love you.
I love you too.
But you keep saying this one word. You know what word I'm actually about?
Trying.
Try, right? Try.
Mhm.
Tell me, what are you doing? You said you're trying to farm your neighborhood. Tell me one, and it just don't have to be deep, and I promise this is from a place of love, but I just want to help, frame something from you.
Mhm.
What Tell me one thing that you have tried in your neighborhood.
What I have tried is I posted in our neighborhood group offering complimentary birthday signs. So I had people, it was like a Google form. People signed up. I took care of it, paid for it, basically sponsored the sign. So I did get some feedback from that. I had people to sign up, and then I had someone to reach out to me and say, hey, I saw that you're a real estate agent. I'll be purchasing next year. So I added that person to my database.
Okay, okay, good. And Liz, I'm like, oh, I like the birthday sign thing. I'm thinking
Mhm. I
maybe I should.
partnered with a sign company to do it.
Yeah, actually, one of my neighbors had a sign company, and I used to like do signs for my closings, but then she stopped with the sign company. But I like that, offering that. Okay, so here's one thing. If I were to ask you, Victoria, how heavily are you relying on social media? Is that probably the biggest form of where you're going to do lead generation?
That's what I want to be my number one form of lead generation.
Okay. Okay. And I get it, like, because we are in a social media heavy world. And I definitely believe that you have to have social proof, especially starting out, honestly, consistently. So I'm not saying this to say that you don't have to consistently post to social media. And I know that there are so many people that get so much direct business from social media. I will tell you this. I sell an average of, 15 to 20 million a year. Out of that, a very small percentage of the business that we attract. Well, I'm lying. It's growing, but I'm 7 years in now, right? So my exposure looks different. But so for the first 5 to 6 years, a very small percentage of that came from a fresh lead, start to finish, from social media. And this is what I mean by that. Somebody who had no idea who I was, who I had no, interaction with, like they were cold to me until they saw me on social media. Now, what has worked tremendously is people who I have been in relationship with that for some reason, like if I was not active on social media, I would have fallen off the radar for them. Does that make sense? So to me, I consider social media to be an indirect lead generator for me. So if I had an hour worth of time and you asked me, am I going to post to Instagram or am I going to make calls to my sphere? 1,000,000% of the time, I'm going to make calls to my sphere, right? 1,000,000% of the time, I'm going to go to an open house. 1,000,000% of the time, I would even knock a door on my neighborhood. But my goal is to have the real estate conversation. So I just want you to think, Victoria, whatever my lead generation activity is, if it's not generating a real estate conversation, I may want to adjust my activity. Every day you want to be doing some activity that is having you talking real estate to people in real life. And like, so then secondary, yes, I'm posting all that, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to people. If I wasn't posting, y'all probably wouldn't be here. So posting works, but especially starting out, and I shouldn't even say especially starting out, because I think that's where we get it twisted. We think that we don't still have to have these conversations after we get going. We need to be having real estate conversations all the time. So I'm going to just encourage you to think through, okay, with farming my neighborhood, can I knock a door and say, hey, I'm Victoria. I live right up the street. I don't like door knocking, just say, hey, I'm a realtor, right? But I will door knock my neighbors to say, hey, I have a spring home maintenance checklist and I want to make sure that I give it to you, right? Or like in my neighborhood, they're about to do a garage sale. So like in my Facebook group, I would post like tips to have a successful garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then on garage sale day, maybe I'm walking through with snacks with something with my information stapled to it because I want to have conversations.
Okay. I have done the spring home maintenance checklist, but I did like postcards and I mailed them. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just hand them out to get in front of more people.
Yeah. And I mail too. Like I mail too. It's just so happened that I printed too many of these for an event that I was like, well, I'm not gonna let them go to waste. So I got them in my car, girl. I'm like literally all in Costco handing them to people like, hey, are you a homeowner? And then because on one side it's about being a homeowner, other side it's about being a buyer. So whatever they say to me, I keep a couple of these in my purse and I'm having conversations with people. So make sure that you're doing direct activities that are generating real estate conversations.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, boo. And still post, but rank what is getting me into conversations. If you would like to ever submit your own question to the podcast, go ahead and hit us up at rosemarylewis.com/ask, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye now.